Welcome back. What's up, everybody? All Day Bets, Alex Jacobs, Manny, Ruffin. The Final Four is here.
Yes, sir.
Lock in this weekend. Baseball's back and better than ever. The New York Yankees are on a tear in terms of hitting home runs. Only 4-2, though. But fun times. We're 15 days away from the Stanley Cup playoffs. Take us home. Take us
Tough.
home.
Let's go.
Getting excited. Getting
Not
excited.
all y'all can lock in. It's not worry about the fucking NBA.
I
Good
know.
shit.
I'm getting excited, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, comment, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button.
Great segue, NHL playoffs, because this is what I was thinking about before we talked about that special bet before we went live. What's your cutoff for juice on a bet? Like, you're not taking anything more than 130, 140.
Is it a straight bet or is it like a parlay piece?
Bet. Straight bet.
I'd probably stop at minus 144. No, and no. That's not even a weird number.
But like I feel like if you take it minus 144, you might as well take 150, no?
No, because then you got to put an extra $6 to get the even money.
Fair.
Minus one, you got to put 150.
So minus
100.
144.
Yeah, because I don't see a lot of 150s. I see a lot of 142s, 144s.
Okay.
So I would stop kind of there.
Okay.
I don't really see like a 148 or like a 146. I see minus 142, minus 144. So I probably stop at the minus 144.
Okay. Yeah, like MLB season, the NHL playoffs got me thinking about this because you got to take a lot of money lines, obviously. Baseball, I'll take some chances. I'll sometimes take a minus 160, minus 150 in baseball if I think it's an absolute mortal lock. But you know I like to do the minus one thing. You know what I mean? Usually I feel like my limit's minus 130. Anything over minus 130, I feel like it's a little too much juice. But the real topic of discussion, start the show. The Dow Jones has been plummeting recently. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the stock market. I don't know if you have any money in there. I hope you don't right now, but you could be buying or whatnot. But there's a guy that plays for the Phillies by the name of Nick Castellanos who has a track record of when there is blood on the streets and bad news has broken. He hits a home run, and he happens to be plus 600 today versus the Dodgers. And you know what's funny about Nick, too, that people discount? I feel like he also likes to hit home runs in big games versus big-time pitchers. Is this a day to take Nick Castellanos? He does have a home run on the year. He has hit one at the crib already. First game of the Rocky series, he went yard. Is it a day to take a chance on Nicky C to go yard plus 600?
I feel like value-wise.
With the situation. He has a track record.
At hand, I think the plus 600 might be the
worth
move
the shot today.
Might be the move today.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Big game against the Dodgers. Dodgers coming home to Philly in our location. And
Say put a little Chipotle bowl on it. You might be able to get 5 Chipotle bowls after the game.
Well, also, I mean, Dodgers haven't lost yet.
Nope.
Huge spot for the Phillies.
Spot.
Phillies have only played the Nationals and the Rockies. This is going to be the first big test of the season. After this series, they get the Braves, too.
You know what? No offense.
Division rival.
Who's going for it? It's Noah tonight for us? Oh, no, it's Luzardo.
It's Luzardo.
It's Luzardo. Okay. So not at the same read I have with Nola, but maybe with Luzardo on the bump, maybe, first big spot for him versus type of lineup. They're maybe thinking we got to get some runs on the board. Even though Luzardo's a guy, but it's just you play the Dodgers, you already thinking I got to get some runs on the board. Nicky C likes to do some things when it comes to those situations. Obviously, there's some obvious ones. You think Schwarber, he's hit a couple already.
But think about it like this.
Think about it, you know what I'm saying?
If Nick Castellanos does hit a home run tonight, I want to know if, like, Twitter is going to go crazy by, saying, oh, Dow Jones, Nick Castellanos home run.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it was just said. Yeah. So I wonder if it does happen, that's what they associate it with. So. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I don't know what else is happening where you could associate something else.
With the terrorists is kind of like hand in hand with Dow Jones, I feel like, right? So this is a day for Nicky C, man. He was born for days
Plus
like
600
this.
might be the shot of the day here on Friday, April 4th, the day before the Final Four. As we get to Florida and Auburn kicking it off at 6:09 Saturday night, followed by Houston and Cooper Flag and the Duke Blue Devils at Saturday night, 8:49. You have Florida favored by 2.5 points and minus 146 on the money line. So I guess there is that minus 146. I did say that I haven't seen minus 146s. There is the minus 146.
Right, are you going to take that money line or what? What's going on there?
So I've been thinking about this all week long because we obviously have.
Why don't you just bet with your friend, man?
I was gonna say that because we have a lot of ties with the Auburn Tigers because of friends and family that have gone to the Auburn.
And long lost loves that in Alabama that we've never seen again after one day.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
been
I'd like to see
associated
I'd like them
with.
to be happy. The little girl in the cheetah print shirt with the black hair, I'd like her to be happy tomorrow.
Throwback to
You know what I'm saying?
2021.
You know what I'm saying?
Throwback to the videos
I'd
at
like her to have a
Auburn
smile on her
University.
face tomorrow night.
We have a lot of ties with Auburn, with people that are alumni now. And at +2.5, I know there's going to be a lot of those guys rooting for them. I'm just so scared to do it. In my brackets, I do have Florida moving on here. But at the end of, the Texas Tech game, Florida had every reason to lose that game.
Yep.
And then we saw why they are the 1 seed going to the Final Four. In this situation, I think I'm just going to ride with my guys and go with Auburn +2.5.
Wow.
It's not like I feel like that's not the flashy pick. I feel like the flashy pick is to take Florida. They're the better shooting team. And if you can find a way to stop Janai Broome down low, there's your game.
And see, that's where Florida has a lot of size. A lot of size. And size coming off the bench, too. So they could probably get a little more physical with Janai Broome than other teams can with certain centers that they don't want to get in foul trouble. I think about Michigan, like Golden and Wolf don't want to get in foul trouble. You know what I mean? Also, one thing to account to, Florida won the matchup in Auburn without Elijah Marshall. So I don't know. Obviously, for Auburn, that could be more motivation. Florida can give them more confidence. They know we already did them bad in their crib without one of our top guys. And I think they were down 9 or 10 in that game and ended up coming back and winning that game by maybe 6 to 8 points. It was pretty comfortable. Also, too, I feel like with Janai Broome, with the bigs kind of cancel each other out. Think about closers on the Auburn team. They have multiple guys who can do it. I mean, obviously, you think when it comes to you think Janai Broome. Pettiford does an outstanding job closing games. I mean, if he's shooting well, he was benched the one game. I forget, was it? God damn, I'm forgetting. It might have been SEC tournament. He got benched because he just couldn't. I think it was versus Tennessee in the SEC tournament. He couldn't hit a shot, got benched. But besides that, he's usually playing late in games and one of their better closers. Denver Jones in the last 2 games has been stepping up massively down the stretch. He's been a good closer for them. But when I think about, because this game's going to be close, right? Has there been a better closer in college basketball or player in this tournament than Walter Clayton Jr.? Like, honestly. And if that's the X factor of the game, and you know what? I actually hate breaking down games in that way. Like, if it comes down to the last minute, I have this guy. I literally don't like breaking down games that way, but for some reason, Florida keeps playing games in that exact fashion. And Walter Clayton Jr. seems to be getting better each time they get into that situation from the SEC tournament on. Even in the regular season on, he's been closing games like this. I think I have to give the edge to Florida here. I think they kind of feel like they're the better team. Not even kind of. I think they do feel like they're the better team. I think the nation's waking up to the fact that they could probably be the better team here. I don't know. I think my gut tells me it's Florida. This line to me seems exactly correct. I don't want to take the money line. The spread seems exactly correct. Like, I can see Florida winning by 2. I can see winning by 1.
Your over is 159.5. Do you think Florida being a high-scoring team, you have the possibility of getting to 160?
Well, it's tough. Like, so that's you raise a good conversation because you go hit the game and go to more wagers, go to the specials. That's where they have like the team to combine game specials to your left. They have like the teams that combine for this and that. Like, it was like each team scored 75 points in the game, right? That would be pretty on pace with the over. Just
about
be
at
right under it.
Yeah.
But it'd be pretty on pace with the over. And I'm looking at that bet and I'm like, that's gotta be a pretty good bet, right? For minus 122?
Each team to score 75 plus points.
You don't think it's gonna be a blowout situation, right? Pretty
No.
sure, like, cause like where you could get boned in a situation like this is if because the over could hit and Florida could win or Auburn could win like 90 to 60 or 90 to 70 or something like that, and you're like, fuck. But in this situation, it's like the over hits. I think it's gonna be pretty close. Both team totals are what, around 75?
Yeah, team props. Auburn's team total 79.5, and Florida's team total is 81.5.
Did we just find something?
Well, I want to say this too. Before I go into one of my favorite bets of the tournament that I normally do every year. If you can stop Walter Clayton, I mean, this is like, I'm comparing this to like the Kansas City Chiefs trying to game plan to stop Saquon Barkley. If we stop Saquon Barkley, we decide that we're not going to lose by Saquon Barkley. If we lose any other way, that's fine. Saquon Barkley didn't beat us. Same thing here. If just force somebody else or some other 2 to 3 guys to beat you that aren't named Walter Clayton Jr. That's the game plan.
Yeah. Problem
and then for Auburn, you just got, like you said, you just got to get Jahad Pettiford to just, the young man just got to go.
Yeah, the problem is everyone else is that good, man. That's the problem. I wonder how they're going to. One thing I'm not going to get too in depth about this, but one thing I want to watch out for is like Janai Broome, how much of an impact he has in the paint. Something that Florida does really well when I watch their bigs is when the guards from Florida go to the basket. They do as good of a job I've seen, maybe even the best I've seen in the tournament, of sealing off the opposing team's big in the paint. Just kind of setting like, it's kind of sometimes a moving screen. It's pretty good. I don't like the play. But watch how they box off Janai Broome when Walter Clayton and some of these guards are going to the basket. I really think they could, if any team can mitigate his impact, because I think even in games where it doesn't seem like he's playing that well, I think his impact is insane. I think his impact is, just why him and Cooper Flagg are 1 and 2 for National Player of the Year. But their impact, both of those guys' impact on the game is insane, even if they're not filling up the box score, but he fills up the box score every single game anyway. I think that they have the best chance to mitigate Janai Broome. I like Florida here, just to keep it simple. I do like Florida here. That bet is intriguing to me, though, because the 75-plus points is less than both of these team totals. So did we just find a gem for each team to score 75 points? It is less than both of their team totals.
At minus 122.
At minus 122.
Yeah, it does make sense. Now, again, it does say 75 plus,
right. But you got to score 75 points.
You just have to get to 75.
Yeah.
Now, the 79.5 is slightly favored to the under for Auburn, and the 81.5 is slightly favored to the under.
Right.
In Florida's team
I
total.
think those are big numbers.
Those are big numbers. But, and that's, you're
thinking Final Four, different arena. We could have some depth perception problems. We could have some nerves going on. I like to admit it. It could be some nerves going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird number to take. But I think 75 for mine. I didn't think I was going to take anything on that list. I might actually think about it.
I like that one.
That's
I like that one.
Good job.
One prop that I've been looking at the entire tournament that I do every year for March Madness is first half overs. And in this Florida-Auburn game, with high-scoring teams, it's 75.5. Now, the majority of the games are between 68.5, 70.5. For most of the Auburn games, it's been like 71.5, 72.5. 75.5 seems like a lot. And I'm not the guy that likes to take an under, especially in the first half, but I've been getting boned the last 2 games that Auburn has played on first half overs. I will slightly be leaning towards the under in this one. I just like doing it because I have no patience and I want to get a cash early and then kind of roll it to something else in the second half, something like that. But they're also just fun sweats because first 10 minutes you got to get on pace. You got to have 35, 37, and then you got to sweat the next 10 minutes. It is a fun sweat if you have never bet a first half over in March Madness. But that's one of the biggest bets that I look at. Normally. And then, but yeah, going back to your point, I do really think that would you call that good value? I think I would call that good value.
That's insane. That's
each
great.
team to score 75 plus points in the game, minus 122.
I even think a good look, too, is each team scored 35 points in each half. You just told us the first half over was 75.5.
So that would put you at 70.
So that's like my exact thought process. So I'm thinking, can we get a 4? And usually in college basketball, the second half is way more high scoring than the first half.
Absolutely.
So if we could get like a 41-37 first half, it was nervy. Both teams weren't really shooting the best. We lose the first half over on the line by like 1 or 2, but we still hit the first half from 35 plus points each. I think we could easily get the second half. Those are actually 2 looks I like. I might take those. I'm really a game special hater, but I feel like that might be worth it.
Line them up.
The odds ain't that great. Like, is there more we're good at? Like, let me go down more. Because those odds ain't. Nah, both teams score 80 plus is interesting. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure the first matchup was 90. I think Florida won 90-81. I'm like pretty sure it was 90-81.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And it was 48-38 in the first half and 42-43 in the second half.
And there was no Elijah in that game. That's probably your third, fourth best player. We might have to take a stab. It could get weird though. Where's this game getting played? Are we at a football stadium? Where are we at? Because that's one of them things too with the depth perception, all that bullshit.
San Antonio, Texas.
What the fuck does that say? Wait, go back up to the left right there.
Alamo Dome.
It sounds like that's a football stadium. Oh no. Football stadiums ain't usually the best for shooting. Just give me go to images. Alamo Dome.
Alamo Dome.
This yeah. This is a spot. This is God damn. I don't remember. Maybe I have to look back at past Final Four to see what the scoring was like here. That looks like that is a fucking football stadium. That is end zone seating. If I've ever seen it, motherfucker. That is end zone. That's the only concern I have. It's legit the only concern I have. But besides that,
I still like it.
Yeah, I still like it too. That would be my only concern now. But I still like it, bro.
So yeah, so I'm definitely.
What is 40? Wait, what was it? You said what was the first half score of that game?
The first, it was 48-38.
Right there, and 40 points in each half is juicy too. I think that's like if you scroll down, that's like plus. That's plus a lot on the list right there. 40 points in each half. Yeah, that's plus a lot.
40 points in each half is plus 870.
Yeah, it's plus a lot.
Not happening.
You don't think so?
No.
That's only 5 more points.
Auburn did score 33 in the Michigan State game in their
and that was
Elite Eight game, and it was Michigan State's fault that they didn't hit the first half ever because those guys just couldn't shoot.
Saying 870. That might be the look. That actually might be the one I go for.
That's solid value.
Because that would be more like a first half sweat, and if you hit the first half and that, you're feeling real good. I might take that. But I like Florida at the end of the day.
So you got Florida at the end of the day. I got Auburn plus 2.5 to ride with the guys. I had to make a decision, and my gut says Florida, but I'm just for the vibes, for the fun of it. We're just gonna.
I feel like it's how I know. I feel like it's how I know you're gonna lose. I feel like doing the show with you. I feel like when you do that, that's how I know you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I've heard that phrase come out of your mouth a couple times.
Multiple.
And it's been like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, he really had it. Like he really was.
There was on it, and then just talked myself out of it. Houston and Duke wrap up the Final Four at night at 8:49 with Houston as 5.5-point underdogs. Our guy from BetMGM, John Ewing, posted the most popular Final Four bets in terms of money at BetMGM, and Duke is leading the charge at minus 5.5. That is the most.
We should reach out to John Ewing.
I know, it'd be great to talk.
That's
to him.
actually
Be a
like
great
a
conversation.
Really good guest.
Yeah. Well, hey John.
Like before,
we'll hit you up,
let's say before the NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, asking where the money's going and shit down there. I feel like that'd be a good interview. I don't want to talk to John Ewing. Shout out to you, bro. We already take enough.
Yeah, we take a lot
you
of content, brother. Be great to tell. Will be great to tell that to his face, though. Hey, John, you are
we be taking
a huge motivator of the program over here. Duke minus 5.5 is the most popular Final Four bet at BetMGM per John Ewing, and Duke money line is the second most popular bet, with Florida in third at minus 2.5, and then Florida money line there in fourth.
Great.
They also have in fifth the Duke and Houston over 136.5, and the Florida and Auburn in sixth there under 159.5.
You're just ripping the over if you're ripping that Duke Houston over. I'm not saying it's a bad bet, but I feel like you're just that's an unconscious. That's Todd Pettiford with 5 minutes left. That's just a pull. I respect it.
So okay, that's women. Yeah. So I feel like a fish, kind of saying this right now, but I'm taking Duke minus 5.5.
Wow.
I'm doing it.
Wow.
And I feel like everybody's doing it. I feel like it's just kind of like the system play of the weekend. I don't see how they don't cover it. I really don't. You need Houston to shoot the three, and you need Houston.
Do
to
you
shoot
not
the
get concerned
three
when you
well.
say things like that?
I'm
I
definitely
feel like
concerned.
everybody's doing it.
Everyone's
I
doing
feel
it.
like everyone's taking it. I feel like it is. You said the system.
How many times?
You said the system play of the weekend.
But think about it, though. How many times this tournament have we seen favorites win again? Oh, darn it. Favorites win again. Wow, we're so surprised. Why is it any different? Now, I'm leaving out Florida and Auburn as an exception. I'm just saying, from the Duke and Houston game,
Why isn't it
Duke's
different?
the favorite.
Well, this favorite, Houston's won 17 games in a row. They haven't lost since December 1st, I'm pretty sure, when they lost in overtime to Texas Tech. By some free throws that could have been argued. I actually like Houston here. I think...
Is Houston like the sharp play of the weekend? Seriously.
I don't know.
It might be just because everyone's on Duke, right?
I don't know. You could, I think there's going to be some people, and, when there's plays like this, I've seen some people on Twitter coin them as fake sharp when it's like, oh, everyone's just taking Duke.
That's what I mean.
But
right.
it's not, that's not the really reason why. When you get into the matchups, I actually think, Houston matches up just fine here with the style of teams they both are. You got a really disciplined, tough, hard-nosed defensive team versus a team in Duke who can beat you in many ways, multiple ways. But if you pay attention to the last couple of games, especially the big games, they really like to grind you out, run offense. They run that one set where the guard passes to the big in the high post, and they have to do the back door, or you go set the screen for Cooper Flag, and Cooper Flag comes off to run that action, and they kill you with that back door 2-3 times a game. It's demoralizing. Plays like that is where I don't think Houston's going to get beat, where I think they're going to make you possession after possession take and make tough shots. You notice in the last couple games, especially versus Tennessee and Purdue, star players on both those teams ended up having okay games, maybe besides Braden Smith. Braden Smith probably didn't have a game he would want to have, but they make you work hard as shit to get going if you're a star player on the opposite team. I think Cooper Flag, Knipple, Proctor are going to be working hard as fuck for every single bucket. And then the other thing, too, with Houston, in the past, you could maybe say, they're good, this and that on defense, but we don't know if they can shoot the ball. They shoot the ball 39% from three. They just don't take that many threes, but they could beat you from three. You saw last game, Emmanuel Sharp was a big X factor for them versus Tennessee. Another key factor for them too, LJ Cryer had the 30-point game versus Gonzaga, but besides that, it hasn't really been an LJ Cryer tournament. It had 17 versus Tennessee, but it wasn't LJ Cryer 17. I think he won 6 for 17. He's still due for a big game. I think this is a spot where he could really, really, really come up big. But even after that, like I said, Emmanuel Sharp had a good game versus Tennessee. Uzan was huge versus Purdue. They have a lot of vets on this team. They played Duke last year in the Sweet 16. I don't know if you remember, that's the game Jamal Shed fouled out. When Houston was in control of that game, you can argue, and they probably definitely felt like they were the better team and they could have won that game. So you have a little bit of a revenge. Obviously, it's a different team, but there's a lot of guys from that team last year on this team this year, and obviously led by Kelvin Sampson. I have Duke winning by 1-3. I think 5.5 is, you're on more of a 2-possession game at that point. So I think this is a game that comes down to the last possession or just the last couple free throws, and Duke ends up winning by 3 or 4. I think Houston makes it difficult. I think they make it mucky. I think Houston has the best chance of all the teams that Duke has played. When Duke played Alabama, it was a Duke game. Alabama didn't get into their shit and play the game that they wanted to play the game. I think Houston's the first team in this tournament that we'll see pull Duke into their own style of play for stretches of the game. Won't be the entire game, but there'll be stretches of the game where you'll see they get mucky, people on the floor, sloppy possessions, and you'll be like, damn, Houston, this is a Houston game. And I think Duke probably wins. I think Duke wins by 1-3, but I think this game has the best chance, maybe even more so than the Florida Auburn game, to have a buzzer beater. And there is that DraftKings bet. Will there be 2 buzzer beaters in March Madness? Plus 900. We've already seen one, the Maryland buzzer beater. I think this Houston-Duke game has a great chance to be the second one, if not the Florida game.
Houston-Purdue almost was one, too.
Exactly. and Florida versus Auburn's a tighter spread. Would you like to take a stab at that bet plus 900 for a buzzer beater? Second buzzer beater in March Madness.
Would take a stab because also with a 2.5 point spread as well in the Florida Auburn game,
familiarity.
You still got a shot at that
familiarity,
one too.
Same conference.
You got the 4-1 seeds playing against each other, so in that sense,
I feel like
you gotta fight it out. It's gotta be close.
We gotta be. You can't have a March Madness with just one buzzer beater. You know, that kind of leads to the conversation of people asking if it's good or not. You know what I'll give the Cinderella folks? You know, because I'm not necessarily on the side of I don't need Cinderellas. You know what I mean? I don't need San Diego State. I don't need
a number 5 Miami.
I don't need FAU. I don't need Kansas State. I don't need it. I like it. I don't need it. I don't need St. Peter's. But what I do agree with the people with the Cinderella thing, which I think kind of what they might be getting at without saying it is, even though we haven't got, you know, Cinderellas, and even though it is, you know, the best teams, we're getting the best games, quote unquote, there's only been one buzzer beater. I'm not saying there's only been one good game. I think there's been plenty of good games. I enjoy watching basketball pretty much in any sense. But it's a little odd there's been one buzzer beater.
Yeah, it has been. Right? But I would say to those guys, you know, I've heard all week from multiple different people, well, I haven't been watching college basketball this season, so, you know, I can see how someone or a group of people that have been watching college basketball all season long, you know that 4-1 season is going to be a great product of basketball because you got the top 4 teams in the nation all going against each other in the Final Four. Creates for a great storyline. Absolutely. But also, like, yeah, does that mean you need those low seeds to get into the Elite Eight, get into the Final Four to make you watch? I also just think, too, like, why are we so mad that Cinderellas haven't made it? Because we're about to see the best of the best in college basketball play against each other. Wouldn't you want to see the best of the best play each other? I don't get that.
There's like multiple holes in those points too, because I've heard people make those points too, and I feel like there's just holes in it where it's like.
I think it's also they're gonna bitch about portal shit and NIL shit.
But when St. Peter's makes a Sweet 16, everyone kind of checks out. Like, you watch the game, but everyone kind of knows, like, oh, they're about to get blown the fuck out. Like, when Bryant makes a Sweet 16, like, everyone's like, oh, this is sick, but I mean, all right, they're about to get blown the fuck out. Like, I feel like there's holes in it, man. I don't know. I get where they're coming from, though. You do want to see some upsets, man. And you guys can check my fucking FanDuel bet slips. I was betting for some upsets, too. Didn't get them. Disappointed just as much as y'all. But I don't think it makes the tournament even any worse than it already. Like, I think it's already great. I think it always is great, regardless of the results we get through upsets or no upsets. I just like good basketball.
And we're about to see it.
I don't think it's going anywhere either. Like, this happened in 2008. No NIL was going on back then. Just the 4 best teams in the nation made it to the Final Four. I'm pretty sure 2009. I can't remember if it was 2008 or 2009 was the Steph Curry year. It would have been funny that, like, the year after all 4-1 season, you get the Davidson Elite Eight thing. It's like it just like we said in the last show, it's a cyclical thing, bro. Sports are cyclical, life's cyclical. Like, it's probably gonna go back to in a year or two. We'll see some crazy ass upsets. The only thing I'll say is, like, it's not gonna be. We'll never get. God, I'm blanking. We'll never get Butler again. We'll never get Gordon Hayward, Shelvin Mack. For 2 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be 1 year. Like FAU, 1 year. All those guys are there on the team. Then next year you're going to see them at Michigan, at fucking Florida, at Arkansas. That's just how it's going to be. It's not going to be how we grew up on it. It's all good. But I think it's still great, man. I don't really care for the Cinderellas. They're great when we have them. If we don't have them, oh well, bro. I feel like also with people who, like, I don't really want to watch because I feel like it's something interesting if you know what I mean? For people saying, like, if you watch basketball all year, it's interesting because it's all 4-1 seeds. But from the fact of, like, just learning the game of basketball, you're not watching, like, sometimes you are. Like, you get the CJ McCollums of the world, but most of the times you're not watching future pros on these Cinderella teams. You know what I'm saying? But in a setup like this, you're watching a lot of future pros. So if you haven't watched college basketball all year, I feel like there's no better time to get tapped into the future of basketball than right now when there's 4-1 season, the Final Four. I don't know. The guys you're going to watch off of Brian who are going to be rating threes are going to be, like, people like to joke about it, but working a fucking insurance job shooting. You know what I'm saying? Making their good 6 figures, but he's not going to be in the A. You feel me? So why don't you want to watch the guys who's going to be in the A next year? Like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of guys. Like, you might see, like, Walter Clayton Jr. might be a pro's pro for a long time for all we know. Give Tahad Pettiford a long time, but I compare him. His game reminds me of Rob Dillingham. What happens if Tahad Pettiford turns into a Rod Dillingham type? Like, you got to just invest into it when he was a freshman. You learned about him in the Final Four. I feel like there's no better spot to learn about these players. You know what I mean? When I was a young bull, I wasn't. There were some players in those Final Four teams that I knew. Like I said, Ty Lawson, I knew Darren Collison, I knew. But I was learning about players. That's a great time to learn about players. And it was NBA. Like I feel like we be tweaking, bro. But I don't want to get on people too much. I get on people a lot on the show and like do the whole thing. Just say you don't like basketball. I feel like I might be a little harsh with that. I feel like it's not fair to people. So I was gonna go to that, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let that rest for now.
I think
that's a little
goes
harsh.
to the point of, people are upset about NIL. People are upset about transfer portal.
People are upset about change.
People are upset about
Change.
Stacking teams, rosters getting stacking up and getting better and better in the portal and all
Absolutely.
that kind of stuff. And I get it, but
Change is hard, man. Change is difficult. We saw it with the college football playoff.
and you know what?
Change is difficult.
We're gonna see the older coaches that have been around for a long time, like the Izzos. When you start losing guys, which he already has, we'll see if this kind of creates his career-ending path.
We'll see, man.
Walking him out the
We still
door.
got some OGs in here. We got Kelvin. We got Bruce. Like big Brucey. I feel like
we got Mr. Patino.
I'm saying the Final Four. But Big Brucey
Yeah.
reminds me. I feel like Big Brucey's a guy that, like I feel like you would see him in like a diner by himself, or like a Golden Corral by himself.
Waffle House.
Yeah, but I swear
That's the big thing.
I
down there.
swear he put like
That's
I
a
swear
big
you'll
thing.
see Bruce Pearl down in Alabama at a Waffle House.
At a
by
Waffle House
himself.
at 2 a.m. after the bar with the
Just
boys.
chilling. I
Just
feel like he's
celebrating
that
the win.
kind of guy. It's OG.
Probably at Sky Bar with the boys.
Maybe with the newspaper. I don't know about Sky Bar. He might be a Moe's guy.
He could be a
Moe's is like a good setup for him, I feel like.
after the football game, after the
Nah. I think like on like a Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, go
Yeah.
get the barbecue there.
Like bingo night. He's at Moe's. You know what
Quizzo
I'm
night.
saying? Yeah, I feel like that's his vibe. Big Brucey.
Okay, so you got Houston plus 5.5. I got Duke minus 5.5. As we solidify the Final Four picks.
So if you are correct, you picked Duke to win Natty, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I got to ride that way. But unfortunately, I did have Tennessee over Houston. If Tennessee did beat Houston, I would be a Florida win away, a Duke win away, and then a Duke over Florida win away.
You know what else
winning
on
the
the
whole
line here,
bracket.
right? We did the predictions of which coach would make it the farthest out of the legends, and I think you picked Brucey, and I picked Kelvin,
So we're alive.
and here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. Here we are. Nobody wants to pay
I
attention.
don't know why I ain't call Bruce Pearl Big Brucey. I kind of like him now more than I call him Big Brucey.
The MLB is off to a flaming hot start, where the Yankees are apparently cheaters.
I feel like MLB's doing really good right now. Am I biased? I feel like MLB's like, I feel like, you know, that maybe I'm doing a little bit too much hype, but they had a nice little marketing short form video. You know what I'm talking about? With all the nice little edit.
I do also think, though, that people are also just happy to have baseball back. So
Aaron
that
Judge hitting
also
bombs.
just elevates it.
Otani's hitting bombs. Like, I feel like baseball.
Dodgers haven't lost.
I feel like baseball. I feel like.
The Yankees apparently are cheaters because they
Yeah.
use torpedo bats.
Yeah.
I just want to be very clear that I compare this bullshit to the tush push. What did everybody say about the tush push? What did everybody say about the tush push? Hold on. What did everybody say about the tush push? Well, everybody can do it. So if you can't beat it, then try it yourself. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. You can still do it. Okay, so for the Yankees' sake, everybody can still use these bats. It still is on the hitter to actually hit the bat with the ball and send it over the fence.
Absolutely.
What are we missing here? I'm frustrated as a Yankee fan that every time something crazy happens, Yankees are cheaters. Aaron Judge is not using a torpedo bat. He's got 5 home runs this year.
You know what's funny?
Knock it off.
Our boy Kyle Pagan did a video down at the stadium, and he was asking people about the torpedo bats, and they were like, "Yeah, Yankees cheaters." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Alec Bohm, did y'all not? Alec Bohm using the torpedo bat.
Alec Boehm is literally using
The
a torpedo bat.
Max Kepler said on the broadcast, they asked him about it. He said, "I'm gonna take some swings with it in the batting cage, see if I like it." I got no problem with the torpedo. I actually kind of like the torpedo. I think it's cool. You know, like I feel like you played baseball growing up. Like I feel like a cool part about baseball that's unspoken about that you kind of lose connection with when you stop playing is like the equipment, like the gloves and the bats. Like, bro, we grew up in the Techzilla era, the CF3, CF4 era. Like the torpedo bat, like when I first heard it, I was like, first thing that went in my mind, it was like Techzilla. This is like reminds me of a Tech. Like this is some Techzilla like archetype.
What was the bat that started with a D?
DeMarini?
Yeah.
Yeah, CF3, CF4. Yeah, them Jones was legendary, bro. Then when I stopped playing Little League, went to the big field, we was on wooden bats. But then that's when Easton had a nice little run. The Easton bats was snapping. I like when the bats is like a topic of discussion. I think it's cool.
Also,
maybe I'm a nerd. I think it's fire, bro.
Over the years, we've seen how the MLB has tried to change the game so it's more quote-unquote enjoyable for the viewer.
Absolutely.
Where it's not as quote-unquote boring. They tried
the juice balls. That was a little much, but it was, you know what I mean?
They got rid of the spider tack, so...
That was a little fucked up, but yeah.
But at least for the average
good
viewer that says baseball's boring, I can't sit there and watch a game on TV. Oh, I can watch it at the stadium, but I can't watch it on TV. All that to say. Wouldn't you want more offense?
Yeah.
You're getting more offense with these bats. And it's nothing that is... what everyone's saying as cheating. You're just putting more emphasis on this part of the bat that you normally get more bat-to-ball contact on.
Francisco Lindor might go back to his old bat.
At least here, just for some names here, Fox Sports has released a lot of names across the MLB of certain teams and players that are using these bats, starting with the Orioles in Adley Rutschman, and then the Reds have Ellie De La Cruz, who earlier this week hit 2 home runs with. Jose Trevino was on the Yankees last year. He's on the Reds now. He's using it. He did also mention that he was testing one of those out last year. On the Cubs, you got Nico Horner and Dansby Swanson using it. The Twins have Carlos Correa and Ryan Jeffers. You just mentioned the Mets, Francisco Lindor using it.
He might go back to his
then you got the biggest team here. Obviously, we've already spoken about them, the Yankees, who have Cody Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Volpe, and Austin Wells. Anthony Volpe has 4 home runs this season with that torpedo bat. He only had 12 last year. Jazz Chisholm last night against the Arizona Diamondbacks at Yankee Stadium hit his 4th homer last night. Austin Wells also had the leadoff homer on opening day with that torpedo bat. The Phillies, we just mentioned Alec Boehm's using it. The Pirates have O'Neill Cruz using it. The Rays have Junior Caminero and Yandy Diaz using it. And then lastly, the Braves have Davis Schneider using it. So there's plenty of guys in the MLB, thanks to Fox Sports there. Plenty of guys in the MLB that have and are using and testing out these torpedo bats to see what the big fuss is about, because they're watching the Yankees, they're seeing all these home runs, and it's like a FOMO type thing. They asked Rob Thompson, manager of the Phillies, after that Yankees opening series against the Brewers where they just demolished them with homers and extra base hits, and Rob said, well, I'm sure we'll try it out. It's no harm to try these fucking bats out.
I think it's fire. I like torpedo bat. It looks a little funky. I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. I was looking to see if we could set up a torpedo bat parlay today.
They used to have...
It doesn't look that promising today.
Well, they had...
They don't look that promising.
Earlier in the week, they did have, I don't know if it was FanDuel or if it was DraftKings, but they had a specific tab for torpedo bat users, and you could parlay from there.
There's some in play today, but it's not the best. It's not the best day for the torpedo bats.
I mean, we already have our home run hitter of the day with Nick Castellanos. So
we could put Jazz Chisholm in there plus 520 to make a wild parlay.
Again?
But that'd be again. It was my point. So it's not the best day for it. We will be tracking the torpedo.
Could be Austin Wells today.
It could be Austin Wells today.
He didn't play last night. Yeah, so exciting stuff for the torpedo bats. It's exciting to see more offense. It's exciting to see, more home runs. But think about it, obviously seeing a pitcher's duel is crazy.
It's great.
And you see an 8th inning getting towards the complete game. Maybe you got a no-hitter going in the 8th. Maybe you have a perfect game going in the 8th. It's getting exciting. Or maybe, like I said, you just have a complete game, a 2-hit, 9 strikeout complete game loading in the 8th inning. That's all fun and games. But you cannot tell me that you show up to the park and say, I want to see a pitcher's duel today.
Depends who's pitching.
Fair.
Depends who's pitching.
But you want to see hits. You want to see home runs. You want to see your stars hit the long ball. This is only helping that.
If I go to the park and it's like Wheeler versus Garrett Cole, I don't mind.
I want to see those guys
I don't
duel
mind.
it out.
For
sure, absolutely.
But if I go to the ballpark and it's Taiwan Walker, my fault, gang. Nah, that's just, you know what. So the Braves, I ain't gonna throw shit at my guy Taiwan. That's crazy, bro.
We got to go back. We got to go back to these YRFI series.
Yeah, I can't throw shit at my guy Taiwan.
So I've been learning
a better example.
One of my favorite bets in all of Major League Baseball is betting the Nerfy, no runs in the first inning. Especially when you go in person and you see it. You just 6 outs. We got to find a way to get 6 outs. 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down.
You know, the best thing for my betting balances that I've ever done was to start only betting Nerfies and Yerfies when I go to the game.
Yeah. It makes it more of a fun spot.
But I think getting into that, I was a huge Nerfy better. I think getting into the habit of having your days be make or break by the first inning, it's just a different.
Oh yeah, it's like.
You know how it feels when you can't stop betting Nerfies every day.
We got to start the game out hot. Like
every day you're betting a Nerfy or Yerfy, it's different stress when you just only do it when you go to the stadium. That's been a place to go for me this year. I haven't placed one Nerfy yet. Haven't.
I've placed a bunch so far.
Yeah,
I told you it's my favorite bet.
I haven't.
But what I have learned in betting Nerfies for years now, especially last year, this is what I learned. If the value is favored towards the Yerfy, the books know the Yerfy's always going to hit. Always. And I'm not saying that like, oh, wow, you're finding something so crazy. A bet that's favored to hit, it hits. Wow, good job. No, it's different because with a Nerfy, it's like, oh, wow, it's 6 outs. And you see a plus money Nerfy. I'm getting even better value for plus money to get 6 outs. I learned this the hard way last year is when I started noticing I would take the Nerfy at plus money. And then that Yerfy was favored at like minus 130, minus 140, whatever. And it would always hit the Yerfy, and I would lose to the Nerfy. So then the next time I would take the Nerfy, I'd see the same thing. Yerfy's favored. I'd be like, it can't happen again, right? It's plus money for the Nerfy. It's got to be a Nerfy. Same thing would happen. I did this probably 3 or 4 times last year until I finally realized when the Nerfy is plus money and the Yerfy's favored, the Yerfy always hits. And there's a couple instances where it doesn't. This happened once this week where it doesn't. But if you're looking at Nerfies and you're a big Nerfy bettor, go look at that first inning over under 0.5 runs. If you see that Yerfy that's minus 130, minus 140, take a step back and take a second and look at that Yerfy. For example, last night the Yankees were at home and they're over.
Come on.
0.5 runs.
Come on, bro.
Was minus 146. The under is plus 114. Now, I'm just saying,
keep it a buck.
Again, it's a little bit different because it's the Yankees, for sure. But you see an under.
It's not even for the Yankees. I'm just saying for the fact they really hung a minus 146.
For over. And again, I'm saying that it's not so, like, this is different from this being like, oh, wow, the favorite bet always wins. Like, there's nothing crazy there. Scoring a run in the first inning, I feel like is a very hard thing to do.
It's definitely not.
It doesn't happen all the time.
It's definitely not your most reliable source of runs in the first inning.
So
minus 146.
Minus 146 for
like
the Yankees.
Bro, the examples tonight are like I could
minus
take
130.
I would be okay with that. Minus 146. I don't know if I'd be okay with that. Bro.
So, for example, Yankees at home last night against the Arizona Diamondbacks, over 0.5 runs in the first inning was minus 146. The under was plus 114. Yankees got out of the top half of the inning with ease. And then Ben Rice hits a double. Cody Bellinger walks. Aaron Judge 3-run homer. Normally, again, I'm a Yankees fan, so with that lineup, I'm probably just not touching it at all. But for the example purposes, the books knew. The books know when they put an over that's favored, it's going to hit. Every time. And this is different than you look at Florida against Auburn, that's minus 146. Well, Auburn, 2.5-point dogs, Auburn might win the game. It's almost like, and I hate saying this word, but it's almost like when they list the over being the favorite as a Yerfy, it's almost like the books know it's a lock. And I hate saying that word. They just know.
Yeah,
and when you look at,
we're gonna have to look into this more.
Cardinals tonight, Cardinals and Red Sox. I should say this today at 2:11 p.m. here on April 4th. You have the first inning over under 0.5 runs. The over is minus 130. The under is plus 102. Normally, like last year, I'm taking the under at plus money because 6 outs, fun sweat, and I'm getting plus money. I'm telling you, minus 130 on the over is going to hit today. I'm telling you. It is just a system. This is lost once this week in the Phillies. The Phillies were plus 108 for their under, and they favored it. But I feel like if I just want to track it for 2 weeks because I feel like it's 78% of the time.
I think they might be getting you.
No way.
Yeah, I think they might be getting you.
I lost on this bullshit way too much last year.
We need to keep track of that. I think that they might be getting every time. 78% of the time. That's a lot.
Even another example for the Nerfy. Paul Skeens this week was in Tampa Bay against the Rays. His Nerfy was minus 180. No runs in the first inning. Minus 180.
Stupid, bro. That is so dumb.
You don't think they know? I mean, come on. It's Paul Skeens. Minus 180 for the Nerfy. Guess what hit the Nerfy? Did I take a minus 180 Nerfy? Hell no. I'm just saying. For example purposes. Minus 180 for Paul Skeens to get a Nerfy. Something to think about. Kyle Tucker's on a tear. That's one of my MVP picks in my future. Plus 1,700 at the beginning of the year. He is plus 1,200 after 6 games. Good for him.
Do you lose R for that? MVP picks? Is that negative R?
Why is that?
MVP picks.
Oh, because I got... Well, okay, first of all, that's some bullshit because I had multiple lays, so I can't put Kyle Tucker in every single lay.
You can't?
No, because Shohei Ohtani is
okay,
favorite every year.
Fair. No Bryce Harper. Damn, I just spit on myself. No Bryce Harper mentions was crazy though. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I need some more homers out of him for that 30 plus.
I'm still mad about the Andrew Painter. I'm still depressed about the Christopher Sanchez.
So we have a good series loading this weekend in Chicago, where the San Diego Padres head to Wrigley Field to take on the Chicago Cubs and Kyle Tucker. Leading in hits, the top 4 guys, Kyle Tucker from the Cubs. Number 2, Fernando Tatis Jr. from the Padres. Tied for second with him with 11 hits. Seiya Suzuki from the Cubs. And then tied for 4th with Aaron Judge at 10 hits. Manny Machado
also
from the Padres.
Also tied for 4th.
So
Jackson Merrill is also tied for 4th.
Jackson Merrill is also tied for 4th from the Padres. So you have, in your top 4, you got 3 Padres, 2 Cubs. And these 2 teams are playing each other this weekend. If you were just to be, staring at those stats, Kyle Tucker, Tatis Jr., Suzuki, Machado, Merrill all to get a hit is plus 537. Probably terrible to do this.
That's so bad. Isn't the over-under in this game 6.5?
7.
7, so it went up a little bit. Yeah, that's probably what they're saying.
You got Shota on the mound today for Chicago.
Yeah. I wish I could just rip this. I wish I could rip this in good faith. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could rip this in good faith. I really do.
Nerfy's going to hit.
This is a good Nerfy. A 7, over-under at 7. This is a good Nerfy. Minus 122, that's a good Nerfy. I endorse that Nerfy. I do.
That's going to be a good series to follow this weekend.
I wish you got more juice out of that.
Yeah, me too. Because you got the top 5 guys.
Yeah.
In hits.
Yeah, and that's a lot of hits, bro. And watch that shit hit. I'm going to pay attention to it. I'm not going to take because I think the value is terrible. 5 guys for plus 537. No chance. You might as well take Casty to hit a home run tonight, plus 600.
0 chance.
You might as well take Casty.
The Phillies and Dodgers have a good series this weekend. And we did touch on this earlier, but this is the first big test for the Philadelphia Phillies as they only had the Nationals and the Rockies. Dodgers just coming off a big series against the Braves. Phillies are plus 108 at home hosting the Dodgers in what hopes to be the Dodgers' first loss of the season.
I feel like the Phillies always, I'm not going to say always, I feel like the Phillies typically do well at home versus Dodgers. Am I tripping? I feel like those series are always popping and the Phillies usually take what up, bitches. Unless I'm getting clouded with some recency bias or something. I feel like it's usually a good matchup for the Phils at the crib.
I just I don't really know where I would. I mean, probably as a
I don't
Dodgers
love him
hater.
tonight. I don't love him tonight.
As a Dodgers hater, I'd be like, oh, Phillies plus 1.5 or Phillies plus 108.
I don't love him tonight. You did highlight before we started to show the second game. That's probably where I'm gonna take a good stab at him.
You got Aaron Nola on the mound on Saturday.
Dodgers got the young bull out there. He probably bounce back, but I think the Phillies might win that game.
I may just root for runs, take the over 8.
Really, Luzardo and your mom tonight? I think the over is a tomorrow thing with Nola on the bump.
Yeah, over is definitely a
tomorrow thing, right? I feel like tonight might be a contentious game, bro. I'm not sure.
I cannot find.
I feel like this is a nerfy game.
You know what? You might be right.
I think this is a nerfy game.
At -113, -113.
I feel like we would have to score the first. I think Luzardo with the crowd behind him in this big matchup, I think he has a good first inning. I think he gets out of it.
Gotta get out of Ohtani, Betts, Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't say that so confident. Maybe it's not a nerfy game. Maybe we shouldn't be considering.
Michael Conforto in 4.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't be considering nerfies in this.
Will Smith batting.
Yeah, maybe this isn't a nerfy matchup. Maybe this isn't a nerfy. And then the other side you go,
That's what I'm saying. Maybe this is an over matchup.
Nah, I don't know about over, bro. Not tonight. I don't know about over, bro.
Lineups are just unfair.
You need 9 runs. It's a lot of runs.
I get a push factor though.
You do get the push factor.
I just can't really find a bet in that one, honestly. Like, that game's too scary to bet on.
Tonight I'm cool off it, to be honest.
So, when you look at the Atlanta Braves, who seem to...
They need the fucking torpedo bats.
They need something.
They
got the worst batting average in the MLB. But oddly enough, the Atlanta Braves are still -168 to make the playoffs. Something to note from Talking Baseball that the Atlanta Braves are 0-7. No team in MLB history has ever made the playoffs after starting 0-7. It's been 42 years since a team that started 0-7 finished with a winning record. So when you hear that,
is it possible?
And put that next to the Braves still being -168 to make the playoffs, what the hell do you do?
Is it possible? I feel like you have a good opportunity to fade with their win total, right? Because you can't take no to make the playoffs, but you can. I'm pretty sure the win totals.
Oh, they're back.
I'm pretty sure the win total. Yeah, it's when the games kick off, you can't do it. I'm pretty sure when their win total is like what 88.5, probably 88.5, 87.5.
88.5 -118.
What's your buy number? Like you're not thinking the over at 88.5 right now, right?
No, and you're also missing Profar for the next 78 games.
Would you take 85.5?
Maybe.
Would you take 83.5?
Probably.
So 85. But like the winning record thing scares me because I think that's still a winning record.
But I also am trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I understand, the stat that was just read about Talking Baseball. They've only played 7 games.
And they have also played.
It's a 162-game season.
They have also played,
They played the Padres and the Dodgers.
Yeah, and the Padres.
Let's just give it a second.
The Padres seem to be playing some type of MLB The Show fantasy franchise. All their guys are in the top 5 of hits. Did we really? Are the Braves in a weird spot? Can we indict the Braves yet?
No, because look, they get a shot here with the Marlins at home this weekend.
But is baseball not the biggest mental game in sports?
Yeah, but this is what's perfect.
Is it the Marlins tonight?
No. This is the best spot.
Sure?
Braves home opener. They had to go 4 against San Diego and then to LA against the Dodgers.
Don't.
You're home. You get the crowd behind you to get you guys back on your feet, and then you gotta play the Philadelphia Phillies after this.
Bro, you said a home opener. I don't think bro, they're gonna come to the game, but you think it's gonna be a traditional home opener vibes?
I think we gotta
I think we drunk at the
we gotta rally for this team, damn it.
Yeah.
We gotta rally for this team.
I've been seeing the comment sections.
Oh, they're pissed. And I don't blame them.
Bad.
But again, you did also play the
Oh,
Padres and the Dodgers.
You know what I've been seeing in the comment section? It's been a lot of, this keeps happening because Bozo's like, you keep buying tickets and jerseys. It's like a Joel Embiid thing going on over there.
No.
They're saying you guys keep buying jerseys and tickets, and this is why the ownership is keeping.
I hate that shit, man.
I don't like it
either.
either.
It's a 162-game season. We're bitching about 7 games.
Versus 2 of the best teams in baseball. I still think the Marlins plus 200 might be a good bet today. I'll be honest. How can you can't back them at minus 25? You can't back them, bro. You can't back them.
Max Fried on the mound against the Pittsburgh Pirates and Atlanta Braves.
This is not what I'm going to let you.
Taking it.
Why? What in your right mind?
They got to win at some point.
Yes.
Plus 125. Atlanta Braves, New York Yankees. They got to win. Braves got to win at one point.
The
at
odds,
some point,
the
plus
odds
125.
for this parlay is plus 125.
I'm terrible. I'm
Those are the odds you should be getting for the Braves tonight.
Money line.
Period.
Yeah, for sure.
It's no. I might. Like, can I? You know, I like the best. Can I see the Marlins first 5 plus a half? Like, if that's plus money, I think it's got to be taken.
I just hope you get cooked on that.
I think it's got to be taken. I think the Marlins win the game. I think the Marlins win the baseball game. I think they win the baseball game. First 5 innings, run line.
Run line, there it is. Plus half is plus 122 for the Miami Marlins.
Might have be a bet. Can you do the alternate run line? Sometimes they give you plus 1.5 first 5 for some good odds.
Minus 162 for plus 1.5 Marlins.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
So
Can't do it.
I think that plus 5 plus a half. I think the Braves keep losing. Who's going to save them, bro? I think the
sure as hell ain't gonna be Profar.
I don't think they probably win a game. They win a couple games of that series, but I don't think they get I think they win. This sounds insane. I think they probably win the Philly series on some we have to get up rival, but I think they could continue to struggle, bro. Team might be bad, bro.
I'm going to be pulling for him this weekend.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
If I bet them, I will be.
Okay.
If I bet them, I will be.
Don't bet them, bro. You try to take minus 1.5.
Well, first of all, I bet them on Sunday Night Baseball.
You're the type to try. You're the type of person to take the 1.5 tonight, thinking they're going to bounce back.
Well, I did it actually on Sunday Night Baseball when they lost 3 straight and they hadn't gotten swept by the Padres in a 4-game series since like 1970 or something.
I feel like that's more reasonable.
I'm like, you can't get swept.
I feel like that's more reasonable. I feel like the odds were not as juiced, right? It had to be. Yeah.
Braves were plus money that day.
That's not the worst bet.
I remember texting a couple people. I'm like, I'm on the Braves tonight. They're like, oh yeah, it's the Braves.
So you know what I'm saying?
It was the perfect spot.
No, I mean, perfect. They lost the game.
And then
they lost the baseball game.
And then you get swept by the goddamn defending World Series champions.
And so we take them tonight. That's the play.
Yeah, but they're like minus 235.
Unbettable. I think they lose.
They might be a lay piece for me.
No, I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm way more comfortable with watching you take all 4-1 seeds to advance to the Final Four. Which is already crazy enough.
Which is crazy and it hit.
Crazy enough.
So the Super Bowl odds have been released. The Philadelphia Eagles are plus 600. But in other news surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles,
table the tush push. No voting. Push the voting back. Why would they do that?
What do you think about that?
Why would they table the tush push vote, do you think? You think they don't have enough people voting that it needs to be banned? That they have to table it, do more politicking?
Jordan Schultz. Sources, there were 16 teams who were in favor of banning the tush push. That's 8 short of the amount needed for the proposal to pass. No vote today on April 1st on banning the tush push. It's being tabled to a future meeting per Jordan Schultz. Interesting.
Very interesting. Do you think it would have a big effect on us if it's banned as a Giants fan?
I mean, you can definitely create the argument, but okay, so let's say there's no tush push. Why the hell aren't you just going to hand it to 26? So, does it really affect it? Maybe slightly, just because you know if the Eagles are at the goal line, it's just an automatic touchdown. We saw what Washington did, and where the ref said they were just going to give them the touchdown.
Yeah, that's insane.
So it's almost an automatic touchdown or an automatic first down, and you know why teams are getting frustrated because they just can't do it like them. Like the Bills struggled. The Bills, I mean...
But also, I think, so I actually have like a devil's advocate point to it because what can the defense do to stop the tush push?
Honestly, I hope that the offensive line sucks.
Like in this picture right here, Nick Bolton's hands I think they're on Landon Dickerson. But if his hands were on Chris Jones, pushing Chris Jones instead of Landon Dickerson, that's a penalty. But the offense can push Jalen Hurts. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just want to know, like...
that don't seem right. And I'm a Birds fan, and I actually love the play. I think it's so fire. I think it's fire. I think it's our own little thing. I wish the brotherly shove was the name we ended up calling it, but it ended up being Tush.
Can I say this, though?
I think it's a great play.
Everybody gives
but
Jalen
I do
Hurts...
understand.
Everybody gives Jalen Hurts so much fucking credit for this play. Like, oh, he squats 1 billion pounds. That's why he's getting first downs. He's got Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley throwing his ass forward. I mean, come on. It's not all on Jalen Hurts.
He still ran it with Miles Sanders.
And towards the end of the season, I was a Jalen Hurts backer.
It is not
okay?
all Jalen
So
Hurts.
It's not to say that I'm a Jalen Hurts hater. I was at the beginning of the year. I came back on board. I'm just saying now. It is not the Jalen.
I mean, you
cannot talk about.
You can't watch two people push somebody.
And then be like, a Jalen Hurts squats 5 billion pounds.
Okay,
that's why he's doing it.
But that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. I'm pretty sure Josh Allen would have liked to be able to squat 600 pounds when he got stopped on 4th and 1 by Chris Jones.
Maybe I would like to
Chris
see.
Chris Jones got hurt trying to stop the touch.
I would like to see.
Chris Jones stopped the touch versus Bills. He got hurt trying to stop the versus Eagles.
Let me put Josh Allen in this situation with Jalen Hurts. And you got Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, that offensive line. I think Josh Allen gets it every time.
I hate those type of arguments, bro.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Let's just put this person on this team and see what happens.
I'm just saying for the argument of, it's Jalen Hurts because he squats so much, and he as much as it's him squatting so much, he's getting an extra yard to 1.5 yards from his offensive line, and then he's got 2 big guys just pushing him forward. So I don't like. I just don't want it to be like, Jalen Hurts executes and runs this play perfectly.
You don't think James Cook, Dawson Knox don't feel no type of way about you saying that?
They probably do.
Some big boys.
They probably do feel a certain way about me saying it like that.
Big boys over there. You know what I'm saying?
Saquon Barkley also squats a shit ton.
You think Dawson Knox can't push a tush better than Dallas Goedert? You think Dallas Goedert better push tush than Dawson Knox? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not
saying Dawson Knox needs to get more reps and push tush.
I'm not trying to throw shade over there.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would hurt us as much as people think, though. Like I see people saying, like, "Oh, well, why are they trying so hard not to get it banned if it's not going to be that big of a deal?"
Would you see what Nick Sirianni said?
Because it's so effective. Why would you ever want something so effective to be banned?
Nick Sirianni said his former coordinators better vote to pass it, to keep it.
Yeah,
they
labbed the thing. Yeah, they labbed the thing.
Kellen Moore.
But like the thing is too, like, yeah, that'd be crazy. I think Gannon.
He was saying
Gannon probably voted for it to be banned.
He was saying you better, those guys better, and he was trying to say whatever the exact quote was. Trying to say something like, this play helped make them. Kind of like some egotistical bullshit. I forget where I saw that.
There's a lot of people and coaches around the league that really don't think Sirianni's that good of a coach. And they think that this play and this roster, they think anybody could coach this team.
That's some horseshit because let's go back to the Devontae Smith call where he said, run the play, let's go end the game. And the Devontae Smith over the top touchdown that won the game.
I like that from you. So, I'm just saying what I've been hearing in the streets. But I do, so I like the point I'll ask you, right? We literally did it on the show where we had Super Bowl winning teams from 2020 on, I think, or 2005 on. And I asked you how many of those teams would you take over the Eagles?
Right.
It was essentially none. Yeah. And then there were some cases where it was like, this line will be a pick 'em. You know what I mean? If I wake up on the side of the bed or if my girlfriend sucked my pee, and I might take the bus. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Right. But for more intents and purposes, the Eagles were the best Super Bowl winning team since 2000. Do you really think one play is the reason that they're the best Super Bowl winning team since 2000, or is it the accumulative talent on the team that makes them the best Super Bowl winning team since 2000? And when you have that much talent on the team, You don't think they can bypass losing a play? You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm like, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
The play definitely helps execution in certain moments on the goal
line. It helps
line.
third down play calling,
Third
second
downs,
down play
absolutely.
calling. Yeah, 100%.
Obviously,
when you have
second
A.J.
down,
Brown, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, the line that they have, you don't think they could figure something out?
I think it definitely is something where it's like, if we have 2nd and 6, just find a way to get 5 yards. Make it 3rd and 1.
4. We get 4 yards. We run that bitch twice. That's how it's.
So, yes, in that sense, but to kind of, I guess, give a little bit of props here to Philadelphia, that the roster's still so damn good that I don't think the one play is the end-all, be-all for them.
No.
I will say that one play defines them.
No. To the public, maybe.
But
no.
that plays a huge part of this organization. When you think of the Tush push,
it's very
you
polarizing.
think of the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's a very polarizing play. We were the first to do it.
I would argue that this play is that's their defining play.
No.
When you think of that play, you literally think of this picture right here.
When you're saying things like this is like no, this team is so much bigger than the Tush push. They created it. Absolutely, they created it. But I don't think this is the defining play. No. I think the defining play of this team is short side toss to Saquon Barkley, Jordan Mailata pulling, Kai Becton pulling, pancaking a couple linebackers, Saquon Barkley breaking a couple tackles and scoring a touchdown.
Saquon Barkley getting 2 yards of space from his offensive line, which he never received in a New York Giants uniform.
Okay, but PTSD kicked in. Okay.
The Super Bowl odds are out. The Eagles are plus 600 to win the Super Bowl, with the Ravens in second at plus 700 and the Bills in third at plus 750. So I turn this over to you with Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, Oren Burks, Mekhi Becton, Kenny Pickett, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, and possibly Dallas Goedert in a trade because he's got no guaranteed money left.
I think there's an 85% chance Dallas Goedert's in a different uniform next year.
After June 1st, he's traded. They will... If he's traded before June 1st, they lose like $21 million in cap space.
God damn.
So you got to go after June 1st. But with all those guys gone, is this the right value for the Eagles? With all of these guys moving on to bigger and better things after the year that they had in their Super Bowl winning season.
Controversial. Please don't take this the wrong way. I don't think plus 600 is a good price for that team right now. With everything that they've lost, haven't been able to see them yet. I don't think this is the right place. But I haven't been able to see them yet. Now, a thing about that list, right? There's a lot of before last year, before their contributions with the Eagles, you would say a lot of quote unquote no-name guys are on that list. And something that Howie seems to be very good at is drafting and picking up those lower tier no-name guys for free agency. So Howie can still cook. This roster could get bolstered up by game one, but right now I don't think the Eagles are worth plus 600. I think they're worse than they were last year, which isn't something to be a knock on the team. That is probably one of the best teams of all time. So to be as good as the team last year, I don't think it's worth it yet. I kind of compare it to the situation of number 2 years ago, last year when the Chiefs went back to back. To start the season, the Chiefs were the favorite to win the Super Bowl. But obviously, that team got worse. The worse than the 22 team. The 23 team was worse than the 22 team. By the time the playoffs came around, the Chiefs were like third, fourth in odds. They were as high as plus 800. That's when I took them to win the Super Bowl. I think you'll see something like that with the Eagles this year, where we'll start off the season as a favorite, lost some pieces, probably have to rebuild a little bit, but I think they'll still be one of the best 3-4 teams in the league. And I think by the time playoffs come around, you'll see like a plus 750, plus 800. Same buy point for me last year with the Eagles. Plus 700, plus 800, I'm buying. Why are the Lions plus 1,000? Does that make sense to you? Not to go too off track, but.
I mean, if you look at conference winners, too, the Lions are plus 500 and second behind the Eagles to win the NFC. The Eagles are at plus 300.
49ers plus 1,100? Why is this not in order?
I don't know why that's
Someone's
not in
got
order.
it. Hey, come on, dog.
Plus 300 Eagles to win the NFC. Plus 300 Eagles. Plus 500 Lions. Plus 850 Rams. Plus 950 Commanders. And then Niners, Packers. Plus 1100.
Probably, I don't like any of those other teams, unfortunately. Niners at plus 1100 interesting me though.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun to make a division winner lay again.
Facts.
Because
Experience.
Rams,
Season vets now. And season
Rams are going there.
Really? Over the 49ers?
Yep.
The 49ers bounce back year.
Rams are going in there.
What if CMC can play football? Some would say Debo was bringing some of the mood of the locker room down. You don't change your mind at all?
Maybe this year I actually have to just put the I got to put the
Well, there'll be no Jets in there.
I got to put the South in there too.
There will be no Jets in there.
There will be no Jets in there. A Patriots win total may be in the future as well, depending on the draft.
What?
And I got to put the AFC South in there.
What?
No, not the AFC South. The AFC North. I'm sorry.
I was about to
I
say,
have to
why
put the
are we-
AFC North.
why
I haven't
are we-
been. I've been too scared to be. The last 2 years, I haven't put the AFC North in
I
there.
don't know
just
why you
because
don't
it's
just
so
fuck
much
me
of a
with the
toss-up.
Steelers, bro. If you would have fucked me with the Steel Curtain, bro, we could make some money.
That would have been crazy. I mean, the smart decision would be to just take the Ravens, but maybe I just want to rock with Joey B. Hopefully he gets defense. But after all these two signings with T.
He could be
Higgins and
getting a new
Jamar Chase,
facility.
they may not even have a defense that can actually stop anybody.
He could be getting a new facility.
He needs a new defense.
Yeah. He needs a new lot of things. He needs a new security system.
Yo.
He needs a new haircut.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? It's my guy though.
All right, okay. We're done. We're out of here.
He might need a new bitch after that. She might have been traumatized.
For those that stick around and listen to the bullshit at the end of the show, really appreciate you guys. Make sure to drop a like. You left me at your house and you don't have a security system. I could have died there. Fucking God.
So I was just getting ran at by Michael Parsons for 45 minutes. Can you give me a fucking break?
True.
I mean, I'm not thinking of a security system outside the pocket, bro. Inside the pocket, I got fucking Michael Parsons running after me, Jalen Carter running after me. You got motherfucking TJ Watt running after me. Give a fuck about no damn security system in my house.
Drop a like on YouTube.
Can't hurt me more than TJ Watt can hurt me. I mean, shit. Can you? I mean, at that point. I mean, he's been sacked by Aaron Donald in the Super Bowl. I mean, that has to feel like a 12-gauge shotgun to the chest.
Probably concussed by him there, too.
It's Joey B. He shakes that off. You see when he got hit by the guy on Georgia in the Peach Bowl. He shook that shit off. Or no, it was UCF. Yeah, he shook that shit right off.
I remember that hit.
Yeah, he shook that shit off. Joey B and G.
Drop a comment on all this bullshit that we've spoken about today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, Apple Podcasts, Spotify listeners. You know the deal. You know the drill. Scroll down to the bottom. Give us those ratings. They do help us a long, long way. Please hit your bets on the Final Four this weekend. Be careful. We got the 1 seed, so there's going to be some exciting matchups, and I am sick and tired of hearing these Cinderella bullshit stories because we're getting the best possible college basketball
That's cool.
that we can see this season. So be happy about it. Be smart about it. And maybe you can just root for the Braves to get some wins this weekend.
No.
How about that?
No.
Don't think so?
No, they're going to lose tonight.
Season opener.
They're going to lose tonight.
Home, I should
There's
say.
not going to be a
Home
lot of
opener.
tomahawking going on out there, I don't think.
Maybe that's like the Trey Turner standing ovation type that they need.
No, I don't think.
Just got to get him
Back
on the wagon.
That was soft. I ain't like that. I ain't like that.
What happened, though? He bounced back.
I ain't like that.
It might work for them. All right.
I think it needed to stay in ovation in the playoffs. He was batting like 2 songs.
Thanks for tuning in with the boys on this April 4th,
You know what I'm saying?
Friday,
We gotta-
before the Final Four.
We got to pay a nigga $300 million. And we got to hold his hand to hit the goddamn ball.
All day, Matt Alex, Alex from Manny Ruffin. We'll see you next week, man.
What the fuck is this?